I'm Dick. I'm from Graphic Stop, and for 6 years we've specialized in oversized color, large format digital prints. When we opened up, we bought the whole shebang. We got a wall cutter, we got rotary trimmers, and we were set up to provide customer service. About 5 years ago, I got introduced to the ImageEdge cutting system, and I bought one for one specific task, which was to cut banners that were longer than either my rotary trimmer or my wall cutter could handle. What I was surprised about is how the ImageEdge cutting system quickly became our primary tool in trimming customer material. This new modular system has me really excited because it gives me a choice of lengths, and I can in fact use it with a single cut on larger materials. The ImageEdge cutter is a two-piece system, the guide and the cutter itself. The cutter slides down a track and gives me a perfectly straight cut on a wide variety of materials. I've got a piece of styrene here that we use, and using the cutter is simple. You line up the edge, easy to do visually, quick, important from a time standpoint, press and pull, giving you a perfect cut every time. One of the things that's always been a challenge is the Coroplast board. Cutting cross seams on Coroplast is always easy. Any cutter can do it. We use this, line it up, press, slide, and we get a nice trim. Cutting across the corrugations has always been simple, but the real challenge for a cutting system is to cut along the fluted edge. Once again, it's simple. Line up your cutter on the print, press and pull, and you get a perfect edge every time. One of the nice features of this system, however, is a real time saver for us in trimming prints, and particularly in trimming laminated prints where we want to leave an encapsulation border. One side of the ImageEdge cutter allows me to press and pull flush the way the ruler is centered. The second edge, however, gives me a 1/4 inch offset. And when I put the cutter on this edge, now I have a 1/4 inch clearance. It's perfect for laminating prints that you want to leave encapsulated, or leaving that margin on prints for customers to fit into a frame. This is the kind of thing that makes a real difference in our business, in our profitability, and our ability to meet deadlines.
Hi, I'm Bob, and I've been working in large format graphics since 1989. And I want to talk to you today about the ImageEdge cutting system and why it's the safest cutter you can use. If you're like me and have worked with lots of different cutting systems, including X-Actos and different types of razor blades, you have these scars, cuts, and stitches to prove it. Well, what the advantage of the ImageEdge cutting system is that it's spring-loaded, and it is virtually impossible to cut yourself using this system. I'm going to cut some sample materials and show you just how easy it is to use. A single thickness of paper is often something that you'd use a rotor trimmer for. This cutter does the same thing. I'm going to line it up on a line that needs to be cut, and just by pushing down and applying gentle pressure, I cut the paper clean, smooth, without a problem. We're going to cut 4mm PVC right now, and I'm going to line the print up and run the cutter. I'm going to press down because it's spring-loaded, and I'm going to cut my PVC. The first cut is going to score it. The second cut is going to finish the cut. Another common substrate that we use at our shop is gator board. This is 3/16 gator board, and I'm going to do the same process by lining up on the edge where I want to cut, and I simply run the cutter through. Originally, when we got this cutting system, what we were using it for was to cut oversized banners. Banners that are 6 foot and 8 feet in length often won't work on a rotor trimmer. So we got this specifically for that. We found that it became so easy to use that we replaced a wall cutter, a roto trim, and we use this now almost exclusively for our cuts in our shop. The banner that I'm going to cut in our demonstration is over 7 feet long. So in order to get the edge over 7 feet, I'm connecting 3 separate rulers together. I simply push them together, they interlock, and now I have one 7-foot long ruler to cut my banner. The cutter has been lined up, and now I'm going to show you how easy it is to cut vinyl banner material. Okay, so we've just made our cut, and now I'm going to pull away the strip to show you the nice, clean cut and perfect line on our vinyl banner.
Hi, my name's Ken. I work in a sign shop in Southern California. If you're like me, you're making signs. We use a lot of cutting utilities. We're cutting down materials, Coroplast, PVC, foam core, banner material, everything. And a lot of what we do is we're using X-Acto blades, utility knives, and cutting utensils of that sort. However, there's problems with these types of deals. You have a utility knife and you're cutting a 32-inch piece of PVC. You have to have a lot of pressure on the utility blade. You have to have a lot of pressure keeping down and a lot of pressure keeping the blade flush against the ruler as you're cut to make sure that you're not making curves in your blade or coming into yourself either way. Also with these types of systems is your hand is very exposed. I mean, you go one wrong step and you got, part of a thumb missing, or you're bleeding profusely. Then you're out of work, you can't finish the jobs that you have to do, and the rest of your staff's picking up for the lost time you've missed out on. This is a problem for anyone who's used these types of things. I've been introduced recently to the Image Edge cutting system, and I found that it has great advantages to what is the old style of cutting. The Image Edge system is a head system with a retractable blade. The blade is only exposed for a short amount of time as there is pressure added to the mouse. So it's the only way that the blade can be exposed. As soon as the pressure comes off, it's a completely flat edge and there's no sharp edges whatsoever. If you mess up, put your finger in front of it or whatever, as soon as you take your hand off a blade, you're not going to be able to cut yourself because it's not exposed anymore. The novice who's just a first-timer can use it just as well as a person who's been working in a print shop for the last 15 years. It's easy to use, very manageable. The first time I picked it up, I knew exactly how it comes apart. It's very convenient. I'm going to show you a little bit of it cutting Coroplast, first against the flutes and then with the flutes. As I said before, it picks up with the ruler and it's perfectly stabilized as is. So as soon as you line it up with the print, come across, keep pressure on the ruler. With one cut, it makes it perfectly clean cut. There's no bends, no crumplage of the Coroplast whatsoever. It's perfectly intact as it was on the board. That is how accurate and how precise this cutting system is.